All right, all right. Well, welcome to the LDM Show. And guys, thank you for showing up again for another week. And we're going to be having a lot of good discussions today. Today, I want to speak about the real reason schools were developed. What can we do to get our schools back? And also, we might talk about a little bit of the wrestling that just happened. So, first, let's hit some word on the street. We're we're good. Let's hit some word on the street. Let's go. Juana, how's it going? How are we doing today? All right. Sorry for the delay of the word on the streets, but we, changed our studio. So, but first of all, we had a escaped convict just escaped the Central Park Zoo, the owl. So he escaped, but they decided to let him be. Let him stay out there. So if you might be walking around Central Park, seeing an owl for the first time in this, not in its own environment, but I guess out in the wilderness. And speaking of animals, in Brooklyn, there was a 4-foot alligator that was found in the. What the hell is going on in New York City? We got an owl escaping Central Park. You know it has to be bad when an animal leaves where they're always feeding them. You know? Greetings from Queens. How's it going? You know it's got to be bad, right? When they escape where they were always being fed and taken care of. And now you got an alligator in the Brooklyn. But now, yesterday they said that the alligator was a little skinny and underweight for his I guess his size. But it's a 4-footer, so meaning that he didn't eat nobody yet. He didn't have time to eat nobody, and there was no fishes there. So, what the heck he was eating to survive? And how long was he there? That's the question. That's what I want to know. Like, how long was this alligator there that nobody noticed until he came out and was like chilling? He was like, "Oh, this is not Florida. My bad." You know. He figured there was something wrong, and there was people screaming because they don't know how to act. In Florida, they would have looked. Oh, it's an alligator. Get the alligator kit. It's right next to the first aid kit. He was looking for some rats. Yeah, he should have came to Manhattan. He would have found a lot more. And then work his way towards the Bronx. But now, he can't go to Manhattan now. The owl's got the rats on lockdown over there now. That owl is just going to be chewing some of this food up. That's probably why he's not leaving Central Park. He's like, wait a minute. I got chipmunks. I got rats, flying by. I got people leaving their food. I'm good. He's like, who is going to leave out of here? Nobody. So, yeah. But that's what's going on so far in the streets of New York. So I'm going to call in my boy out here. We're going to talk real quick about some wrestling, and then I want to talk about some school here, too. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce my boy. Will Davis is in the house from XY101. Yeah, and we got to get an engineer, to hit off some claps. Oh, yeah. So, check it out. This Tuesday is what? We just had Calvin Corner.
This is going to be Calvin. So the next one, I believe the next one that airs is the one with our special guest who will teach people and tell people like how to make an OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, the male OnlyFans. So listen to that on the LDM radio, or you can go to iHeartRadio and just put XY101.
Yep.
So it's up there too as well. But disappointing. I can't really. I'm trying to find a better word than disappointing.
It's not that disappointing.
And we're talking about the
Elimination
chamber.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I guess it wasn't to my par. Let's say, like I wanted more. I guess.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Like it was lacking something.
The Bobby Lashley match.
The Bobby
so
Lashley,
much
no,
better.
that was a 2.
So much better. I feel like I saw way too many mistakes during the women's elimination chamber,
Oh
but
my
I was
God.
happy that Asuka won because I'd love to see her fight Bianca. Um,
Yeah, and uh, shout outs to her. Not only that she won, twice I seen her fix the other person's
yup,
mistake.
yup. But I mean, she's a seasoned pro. You wouldn't know it looking at her, but we're talking about a woman who's nearly 40, who's been doing this for Lord knows how long on a high level internationally. I mean, she's gonna have to help out these younger women who are having the same level of experience. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
And I'm still mad about the fact because they're glorifying it, doing all these Charlotte promos. The fact that Charlotte got to beat her
Yeah,
when she was undefeated for 2 years.
yeah.
I'm still mad about it. What, almost 4, 5, 6 years later? Like,
Then we go then we shoot up to the new uh no the now he calls himself. He's the now.
I like him.
I, I the arrogance I like. I like his arrogance, the way he plays. Not only that she's a pro, she's a supporter of other women. Exactly. And she like I said, I found two mistakes that she had to clear it up.
Yeah.
So, shout out to her.
No, but she's always willing to push the next generation too. I mean,
Oh
she
yeah,
had that
yeah.
big run with,
But it's her time to come back now.
Yeah,
you
it
know what I
is.
mean? She pushed everybody.
hey,
That's enough. You know? So that's what we are now. But with the now, his arrogance, I love it. He's up there. Of course he's supposed to be arrogant. He's young.
he's a young Miz.
Yeah. So he's doing good. But I think they're gonna try to they need to stop because they're gonna push him too much where they can't bring him back down. And it's the same thing that's gonna happen with Roman Reigns.
I don't see that happening. One thing about him is that they're even doing the whole, like, in this last elimination chamber, he didn't win it on his own, right? Somebody had to come in there and clearly save him from taking the L.
Right, right.
Arrogance is great entertainment. Agreed.
Yeah, yes, agreed. That's big time.
Yeah, he like I said, he reminds me of a young Miz. The whole history from NXT where he was like, the underling of Johnny and all that. There's a lot to the character that lets you know that there's a bit of spoof in his greatness, the same way that Carmelo Hayes has that going for him too.
Right, right.
On NXT, he's a great athlete. He's a good thing, but like at the end of the day,
She likes Tyson.
because they're just arrogant.
Yep.
They talk a lot of trash.
Great entertainers.
Yeah.
That is so true. Oh, we have a lady that watches wrestling here.
watches
I
sports.
like that. I like that.
Yeah.
But it's to a point where they need to level him out. Where if he loses the belt, he's still that good, arrogant person without a belt. You know what I mean?
I think that's why they're giving him the win streak that he has now.
Right.
It legitimizes him as an athlete. It legitimizes the bad character.
She's like, I'm old school.
Yeah. No, but
he'll probably wind up like a Y2J. Y2J,
Yeah.
even without the belt, he was, a
Major.
dominant or not dominant. Like, if he loses the match, it was still a great match like that.
Exactly.
That's how I want him to be. Since Rey
Mysterio,
Mysterio's
ECW
days, yeah. And with Rey Mysterio too, he's leaving. There's rumors saying that he wants to leave, but he was supposed to leave sooner. But his son's character is not too
Done
far.
yet, yeah.
To his opinion, he doesn't like his son's character the way it is
Well, I'm
yet.
sorry, that whole mommy thing. First
That
off,
what blew it up. That messed it up.
the play on words with mommy there is just kind of confusing 90% of the time.
Yeah,
Because if she really does seem like MOMMY.
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
and
she looking kind of hot now. So everybody's like, I seen this guy with a sign. You can be my mommy.
Yup,
I was dying. Booker T still. Yeah.
He's a-
Booker T is now an announcer.
He's an announcer, a coach, and he officially retired from in-ring action after the last Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and he still has his school.
Yes, he still does the stuff in
Yeah.
Texas and his wrestling organization.
Yeah,
in Texas.
which one of his proteges is the.
The NXT Women's Champion right
Yep.
now.
So it's what she's 21, right? 20 to 21.
21.
So-
The youngest champion they've had in a long time.
And she's the youngest student that he ever had because she was 15 when when she came to him.
I think the only person that might have won a championship younger than her is Paige.
Yeah. Randy Orton is in there too, but I
No,
think
I'm talking females only.
oh females. Oh no, yeah,
Randy is-
Paige.
I think
yeah.
Randy was their youngest champion until who?
Until now.
Yeah.
The
The
now.
now.
But that match was okay. The chamber match, I don't know. It could have been the male chambers match. Could have been a little bit more, oomph, I guess.
I think that they were banking on the ending being the oomph, and it didn't hit as hard as you wanted it to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was still, I think it was a good chamber. I think the men outperformed the women this time, and I can't always say that when they do these, dual gender special events things. But it was less flawed.
Hmm.
But again, these guys also have more time. Not all of them in the match, but in general, they've had more coaching, more time to deal with the elimination chamber. So
And
you got to
my
give that.
opinion, you guys, boardroom, don't let the guys perform 2 days before they have to do an elimination match
Yeah,
because their tiredness and the travel
it shows. Yeah, it
it
shows.
shows on the thing. So I don't know if it was more of them performing or the travel, the lack, because some of them just got in that day.
Yeah.
So maybe they need to start doing that. They get in the day before so they
Well,
can get a little
that's
rest.
always been a big issue with SmackDown superstars. Like when the brand goes SmackDown only and Raw only, the SmackDown stars are doing back-to-back nights now that they're doing these Saturday night pay-per-views.
Right.
And you can see it in the performance sometimes that these guys are like, I just did a major bit last night. Sometimes they're doing the late matches. Exactly, and you're rushing from
Yep.
one city
Travel
to another
causes stress as
city.
well.
It doesn't, a lot of those guys deserve a lot more credit because I know they're
Hmm.
more the gimmicky brand, but to perform at the level that they do, especially for pay-per-views after doing the stuff the night before as the setup they deserve a lot more credit.
Yeah.
SmackDown superstars specifically.
Yeah, they're doing great as well. So shout outs to them. So it'll be at WrestleMania,
Hmm.
Oscar versus what, Flair? I
No, no,
think.
no, no, no.
No,
It's
no, she's
Oscar
going
versus Bianca Belair.
Belair.
And then
Belair is doing good, but she's lacking as a fighter like she used to be. Like they don't have her performing that much as.
they don't have her performing as much, and I've noticed that since she won the championship, she's not on. But the other thing too is that there's been a lot of controversy in the women's division with the stuff happening outside of the ring.
Right.
And I think just having her, they build up her storyline specifically for pay per views because she's the more active fighting champion.
Champion.
So they just kind of like let her get her rest in. She's not wrestling every night. They're trying to build up more women in the division. They got rid of NXT UK and they started, Piper Niven came in. They're trying to bring some of them and blow them up on the US level. There's a lot going on there that they have to fix, to be honest with you.
For hard work in between the scenes and during. They're not. They need to either promote it more, what they're doing outside. Some of the wrestlers do things out of wrestling, but they don't want that credit. They
Yeah.
just doing it for, like Titus O'Neil was doing it for a long time before
They-
WWE even
yeah.
told people. So there's certain people like that. But my match that I'm afraid of is the Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Roman Reigns have never fought a person with a performance like Cody Rhodes. So will he not make mistakes or and
Here-
push it?
You can't say he's never fought someone with the same performance level.
Well, on a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you can't take away from Kevin Owens as a performer. He's someone else who.
Well, Kevin Owens to me it was more of a brute performer. I'm
No,
talking about this guy is like a
finesse guy?
like constantly going. Like
I mean,
will you keep up?
He's had 2 years of fighting champions. He's done. I mean, you want to talk finesse? He's kept up with what's his face from the woo woo.
Oh yeah, that's
You know,
Jesus Christ.
Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
He's battled. He's had exactly the whole New Day bit. He's had to keep up with so many various performers of various styles. I mean, especially more so, not his time as champion, but his time in the Shield.
Yeah.
Roman, I don't worry about Roman. I think the reason why Vince and them put so much trust in him is that he has a very simple moveset.
Yeah.
He can rely on the gimmick as far as being, the tribal chief and the bad guys around him. He doesn't have to do much. In fact, if you really watch a lot of his matches since becoming champion, they haven't been slugfest. They've been mostly like one side dominating.
Or
a lot
got
of screaming,
cheated,
right.
cheating and stuff like that.
He's playing into the bit. So when you have someone like that versus Cody Rhodes, who, I mean, we've seen him perform that match with Seth Rollins where he was injured.
That was crazy.
That was a great, because you knew he was really hurt.
That was crazy.
And he still was like, nah, I have to perform. So.
That's crazy and dedication.
Yeah.
But this, to me, the WrestleMania moment is going to be when the twins betray Roman Reigns to make him lose the belt.
I want to see the twins fight each other first.
No,
I need that to
You know
happen.
what?
I
I
need
was
that to
thinking
happen.
that. This guy's going to come in, Sammy. Oh no, 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 no. Then here comes Jay. Of course, he's gonna be on Sammy's
Right.
side. But then now Jimmy gonna come and talk about Jay. Why you doing this? And then they're gonna start fighting. And then on Monday Night Raw, they're gonna have a match.
Well, remember you.
That would be a nice story.
Remember, Sammy accidentally just hit Jay, so we'll see if Roman tries to spin that tale of, you see, he's not on your side. What are you there for him?
Yep,
You know?
that's true. That's true.
So there's a lot. That's what I love about this moment in WWE.
Twin fight. Yep.
Exactly.
That's the best.
Who's who? I can't wait for the announcers to try and figure that one out.
It's Jay. Listen, one of the Jays just fell on the floor.
But
Yeah.
no,
The winner is Jay.
we think possibly Trinity. Which one's your husband?
Right? So, it's going to be a great, because you can go any way with this story right now.
Yeah.
So,
I think fans have appreciated it because clearly they accept Roman as a heel, they accept the character, and they still root for him because they want the storyline to continue. I feel like also Solo Koa, like I'm trying to.
where's his part?
Right.
Where's his
I know
part?
he's supposed to be the bodyguard, whatever, but I feel
'Cause
like for a major event to happen, he also has to turn his back on.
No, but there was was it SmackDown? I think it was, where he Roman was saying something and he said, "Get out there." Oh, it was SmackDown. Don't come for the chamber.
Right.
I don't want none of y'all there.
Yeah, he said that.
He gave the look to Roman like, wait, he's gonna portray, like, is he gonna trade him, or he's gonna trade to go to Sammy, or he's gonna, like, that look is confusing. Like, I'll bust your head. You don't tell me what to do, but then at the same time, he's like, I gotta respect him.
Right.
So,
I don't know.
It's gonna be one of the good WrestleManias if they play it perfectly.
So here's my thing. You know how Bronson Reed, you were kind of like, what happened to him, and he comes back, he's like, great. I
Right.
feel like that's exactly what they're gonna have to do with Solo, because he came in as this one character, and you can't quite figure it out because they're doing with him what they did with Roman when he first came. It's just like, you can't speak. Like,
Yeah,
we don't
yeah.
want you to talk. Just be the.
Just beat
you
the
know, he had to
person.
learn the mic skills, and I'm wondering if that's why they're doing it. Are they trying to just build him? Because at one point, I remember Albert, before the whole like A Train bit.
Oh,
where
yeah,
Jesse,
yeah.
Like, he hardly talked.
No, but he has when he was on NXT, he was speaking.
That's what I'm saying.
So I don't know why they didn't stop. But remember, Bodyguard.
Yeah.
You got how many of the great what was that, Diesel, who didn't
Yeah.
speak when he first came out. A Train, like you said, when he first came. There was a lot of the ones that came out as bodyguards
And
and they can't speak.
I mean, what's his face? I mean, he's not great, and I don't think he ever will be. That Omos.
Oh my God, he can't speak at all.
He can't speak now.
He can't speak at all. And it's not only the words that are gonna come out, it's the way his voice. Oh, you gonna no sit down, bro.
But you
Sit
know
down.
what? At least it builds that giant built.
Y-
It's like,
yeah.
You know?
Well, he keeps coming out. If I don't know if you heard, but the engineer asked what happened. He keeps coming out, but trying to build them, and it doesn't work.
I mean, essentially,
So-
right now, I think they just have him doing, Black Show events. and
Yeah.
They're waiting for the moment to build Bobby Lashley's crew again. And, he was working with MVP at the time.
Right. But he can't. Yeah. Well, who? Because maybe she's talking about Sokoa.
No, Solo Sikoa can probably, that's what I'm saying. I want his character. I mean, and that's my other thing. You brought back Bronson Reed, but
For what?
where's the big black guy that's dating Mia Kim?
Oh, he's on AEW.
No, but I'm just saying, like, why would you bring them both back? They brought back everybody who used to work with him,
Right.
and just bring him back because they should have never got rid of him.
Well, he got hurt, and then Vince McMahon didn't like because he was doing his thing. Vince McMahon, anybody that doesn't do what Vince McMahon wants,
he was building
and then
something
winds up
great.
doing it better,
'Cause
he gets pissed.
I'm sorry, that guy would have been the guy to beat Roman Reigns.
Oh yeah.
With fan appeal.
Oh yeah. Big time.
Now-
But now he's in AEW beating up everybody.
Just-
He just came back to AEW last week after being out, so-called injury.
I like the spirit bomb.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
But we're gonna keep track with what's going on here into WrestleMania to see if the story changes a little bit. Hopefully, I'm going with Cody Rhodes, of course,
I kind of.
but I'm hoping that The Rock would just make an entrance. That would be a WrestleMania.
I would be happy if Cody Rhodes was about to lose the match and The Rock saves him and like disappears.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That'd be great. That'd be
Like-
awesome. That's all
like-
we want out of The Rock.
Oh,
You don't want
not,
the full match.
matter of fact, don't even bring him out. Just the theme music, and then Roman looks back, and then when he
Gets
turns
the
around, boom.
Crossroads.
You know what I mean? Like something like that. But again, maybe with Jimmy and Sammy, they would do that, you know. So, and I like his new shirt. You seen it? He crossed off Uso.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was great.
I was like, okay, but we'll find out. There's a lot of good stories. Hopefully, the woman's story will build up a little to be a little bit better, because now, again, they need somebody for Flair that's gonna push her.
Yeah, I think they're building that Ronda storyline for that.
Well,
That's
the
how
Ronda and they were thinking of this
her and
girl.
Baszler
Yeah.
for the
So
tag team.
a triple threat.
Eh.
Make it a triple threat. That would be cool. Now you got the two people that are gonna be things. I like you guys have a website I can follow. Yeah, you can follow the ldmshow.com or the whole network at ldmnetwork.net. They have all the shows there. His podcast is there as well. Our podcast and our shows are all on there. Um, yeah, and of course, like the Facebook page at LDM Show, XY101, the LDM Network.
That's the best way to keep up with.
Yeah, the
both of
LDM
us.
Network is always the best.
Yeah.
You get all the other shows. Oh, cool. Thank you. But let's get to our main topic today. A lot of people don't know that what schools are for. They think it's for education and everything like that. I was doing some research because I'm like, as you get older, you notice things that you didn't notice when you were young.
Yeah.
And then I started doing some research. From 1869, they made the schools 3 to 4 hours a day, stuff like that. They started teaching them very good vocabulary and all this other stuff to make money and to become rich. Rockefeller brought it back in 1906. 1865, and then in 1906 they changed it because they said school needs to be taught for workers.
Yeah.
So this is why you got 8 hours of school versus and 8 hours of work. So you can learn how to work for your 8 hours. This is why they put you on the line. This is why they tell you to do what I say and not what you think, especially now with the math.
I mean, that's been the biggest issue. Yeah. They shouldn't be
Exactly. I
teaching
said the same thing. They shouldn't, especially when you're under 11. I don't think
Yeah.
you need to be coming up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to no school. You know what I'm saying? Now
wish I
I got a
woke
lot
up
of
at 6.
parents in the city. I will say it nicely, in the city. The real word I want to say. That were like, oh no, but my kids need to go to school. I need to go to work. You don't go to work in the first place. But anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
no, but I mean, one of the things that we've discussed in the recent years when there's a change in generation stuff like that is that the school system is even designed to teach people how to be workers and laborers. They don't teach how to become entrepreneurs. They're not
Nope.
taught how to even simple stuff like investments and things like that. They're not taught
Right.
really to the stuff that's needed for adulting. They're taught anything that can be used to actually be a worker in the workforce, right? Not even how to be management, sadly.
Yep.
And that's why a lot of us have managers who are very incompetent because they didn't
They-
actually learn
yep.
how to do their jobs. They just know somebody.
And then
I mean, it is. I mean, you would think that at some level, outside of perhaps a math word problem, you would be taught
Sorry.
how to make a schedule, right? Like
Something.
No, 'cause
Something, you know what I
even-
mean?
Even on Indeed, that's actually become one of the thing. If you go on Indeed and you're trying to find a job, they do the job testing quiz and stuff like that.
Right.
And they ask you basic questions about what the scheduling means and stuff like that because they want to just see if you're any kind of logical, competent, or anything like that. And when you take those tests, you realize like, wow. Is this easy for my bosses to do the stuff that we're like, no wonder
Nope.
it must be harder. Yeah.
Yeah. But in 1980, what she said, they just want to make money, not teach how to make. Exactly.
Yeah, they need a labor force
Yeah,
for them to stay rich.
In 1980, Reagan and all of them, when they was coming out, if you notice, there was more schools with mechanics. So he tried to change it, even though he was an idiot. He tried to change it. But he changed it without telling people, so people didn't realize the good he was doing. 2000, here comes 2002, where the government and everything are starting to take over. They went back to it. That's why they took music out. They so-called claim there was no
Electives.
money in the budget.
Right.
They took music out, opera, acting, band,
Yeah, they
anything that made you
the arts
feel
creative.
right,
Yeah.
feel creative, and feel like I can make it in this world to do better for myself. They took science. They took business courses out of high school because of that reason. Because they realized that since 1980, a lot of the kids that came out of that started making their own businesses,
Hmm.
and they wasn't working. So since 2002, they started it again.
I mean, the thing you really have to look at is that those in the creative arts usually pursue fields where they're not going to be laborers, right? I mean, granted, there's the common joke of the person chasing their dreams into Hollywood being a server someplace beforehand, right?
Right.
For the most part, these guys are doing those menial jobs. They're not really going to the office. They're not working for these big corporations. They're working for mom and pop shops, local
Mm-hmm.
businesses, things like that. So how do we get people to have enough education to do what we need them to do for us to be profitable? It makes sense,
Yeah.
like as a plan of business for those in power. But at the same time, when you have people who are doing, let's just take, why did they take out shop class and home ec and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm
And
saying.
people say
Like,
it's sexism, this and there, but I mean, at the end of the day, these are things where if you learn to cook, right, before you even have to pay for culinary school, I mean, couldn't you do your own dessert business on the right? Mechanics were going working at local shops and either taking over that
yeah,
business or creating their own. They're no longer buying into the program where they have to work for somebody else to make money.
yeah. And mechanics since 1985 boosted right up, and they
Mhm.
make more money than a lot of the college kids. That's why they
Yeah,
took it out of the school as
they
well.
they don't want to. And now, one thing that the city has done in the last 20 years to the high school system is, at least if you have an idea, right, that you want to get into planes, if you want to get into business, hospitality,
Hmm.
they're giving specialized schools. Well, not like the specialized school program like Stuyvesant, but like career focused education is what they call it. And now you can choose a high school that specializes specifically in like business administration, hospitality, aeronautics, things like that. And that's what they've
Hmm.
been trying to do to kind of counteract it. But the general STEM program is only going to teach you the basics to work menial jobs half the time. And at college is where you learn what you really need to learn to do, like if you want to be an engineer and things like that. But even still,
Hmm.
they're not teaching you how to run the engineering company. They're teaching you just how to be the,
The
the
basics,
basic,
yeah.
right? The entry level position, because that's what they need.
But which it was good because by time a person would take engineering in high school,
Hmm.
now when they go to college, by time they become a sophomore, they're already doing internships.
Right.
Now you got to wait till you're almost a junior to senior
Yeah. You
because
don't
you
have
don't
that
have that
background.
education,
Yeah.
and that's why they said, you know what, half of the people are probably quitting college because when they became an intern, the company picked them up. They was like, they're not even going to wait for them to finish their 4 years. They're good as it is. I'm taking them, and they wanted to stop that because they're not making money.
Right.
That's
I mean,
where boys are.
uh,
And then plus now they were like, oh wait, they stepping on our feet and getting their businesses when we don't want them, the poor people, to move up.
education has always been a business. It
Hmm.
just, it literally has. Initially, you had to have money to be educated. You had to be of the upper echelon to be educated.
Yep.
And that goes beyond just the U.S. history. That's just in general, right?
Mm.
Only in certain societies where they're not seemed as civilized, where people given a general education, right? And those were just the most be cultural necessities to survive.
Hmm.
So it's a different kind of culture you're talking about, right?
Yep.
Money is everything at the end of the
Yep.
day.
And if you research it, and I'll put it up on the LDM Facebook as well. Rockefeller said we need to change it where the poor people are going to be workers,
Yeah.
and that's why they changed the school board. But because of the COVID and everything, these past couple years where they didn't have school, they were doing everything online. A lot of the parents are noticing their kids were learning more with them. So homeschooling went up 12%.
Yeah.
And then now a lot of people are realizing, like I did, I'm like, wait, why do my kid has to be there 8, 9 hours a day?
You can
He
actually teach
and
them all of it in
and
4 or 5.
you're supposed to have them 4 hours or 5 hours of having fun, because
Yeah.
that's how you learn, by falling down, sliding down the slide, and be like, oh, whoa, that's hot,
Especially the younger kids.
right?
You
But
know.
you're not having that time because you think about it. By the time they come out of school around 3 to 3:30, they got to go home. By the time they get home, it'd be like maybe
4:30,
4 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
too late to go outside.
Yeah.
So now you're indoors. And then you only
Again.
got like 2 hours left because you got homework, which another thing that they use to slow you down from going outside was to give you homework. And that was Rockefeller's uncle that made that one.
Hmm.
He said, give them homework so they can be at home all day and they won't be outside seeing what's going on.
I mean, to be fair though, you know what parents were like back then. Just like sit down and shut up. So
Yeah, you know. But I always thought like you giving me homework to review and study something that you're supposed to be teaching me in the school anyway.
Yeah.
So if I don't do it, I don't do it. If I pass my test, then that's why they started a thing. It's all about the greed and the money.
Well, you're missing one aspect. It's also about control,
Right.
right? The education you're even giving out is to make sure that you're building your workforce. You're making sure that you're
Hmm.
not teaching people anything that they can advance, so that way you stay where you are, and they'll do the bidding that you need because they need to survive.
Yep.
Every system in place in America is put there so that way people at the top can keep their control.
Yep.
I mean, that's the be all end all of
And
all.
that's why they changed the math to make it longer,
Mm-hmm.
so you will not think for yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
you need to do it this way. No,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are starting to wake up and realize what is going on out here, and teaching their kids.
I
You
mean,
know,
even college. I mean, COVID has been a great thing. I mean, minus the actual illness and death, but I mean,
right,
as
right,
far as people needed a little bit of isolation to actually pay attention to what's been
to
going
what's
on
going on.
around them, right? And because of that, even the college system, right? Oh, my job. Yeah, exactly. Because those are yours, right? Those that
Hmm.
don't let them make that there's those you built those connections, take them with you.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, screw that. Take that with you. Uh, but no, you have people realizing college is making you what pay an extra 40K a year just to live on campus. Like the people
Yeah,
and the
that's
thing is,
another
we're,
joke.
we're talking about Ivy League schools down to community colleges. People are seeing that the education that they're getting isn't vastly different at all. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff, people, the media, the government, they drill in your head that if you have a bachelor's or this or that is a great thing for the jobs, and some people are wasting their money. Like, why you need 4 years of art?
Because
You see how it was silent?
no,
Like
because
everybody was like, really
not
art?
not because you have to go to a school of fine arts for someone who either used to do it o- on at a relatively high level to be able to
Right.
tell you you're good. I
Listen,
guess I don't know.
listen.
I mean most
Don't they teach you that in kindergarten? Yellow and this, or make a this color, and this makes that
you
color.
have to
Let's
learn
draw.
you have to learn to make the apple look like
Like an
it's
apple.
alive.
Oh, okay, that's why. That's so it takes 2 years for you to draw the apple and then 2 years to make it look alive.
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, wasting your damn money, idiots. You know what I mean? Like things like that is like why. And then
Hmm.
people are like, yeah, I took college.
Well, I love people who try and get into acting, and I mean, you find people with amazing talent, but their look will just never take them places. So
Hmm.
why did they actually go to acting school? Like,
Yeah,
like you just
that
wasted your time.
there's certain bill. That's bull. I never had education for certain reasons and taught lawyers about foreclosure, migrations, and insurance red tape for fire damage.
I mean, at the end of the day, you make a point. Self education is the key to actual anything, right? Like
Right.
you're gonna be your best teacher. You're gonna understand how you learn. You're gonna learn the stuff that you need to know. And a lot of people who actually take the time to self-educate themselves, right? Like you're like, let me just look into this or look into that. Are the people who actually know the most stuff? Let's
Hmm.
be honest, because they're experiencing it like something that everyone else is not paying attention to. You're gonna go beyond just the theory of. You're probably looking at something that you're dealing with, right?
It works a lot of
So
times. There was many cases where now here it is as a junior lawyer, I'm doing all these stuff for the lawyers,
mhm.
and half of the them I didn't even read the books.
Right.
I just look at the person. I seen
Yeah.
the photos of the crime scene and stuff like that, and I'm like, this is similar to, and it came with experience of knowing each culture
Right.
or knowing the streets or knowing seeing people.
Those I guess those unwritten nuances.
Right, right, and those things. How you doing, Scott and Albert? Those things are where education really comes from.
Right.
Because you can have all the education in the world, but when you go to a job, none of that education really conspect because now I got to
Work
still teach you
experience.
my job.
Right.
I got to teach you how we
Do
run this
this,
business.
right. I mean,
So you start in the beginning anyway.
the other thing too is that we live in an era where information is in the palm of your hands, right? So you actually did law, you can, but
Mm.
I'm someone who I don't do court cases and stuff like that, and
Right.
I've never done that. But my friend, in Canada had a situation with trying to kick somebody out. I literally did a deep dive Google search, and this means that you have to go past page one
Right, right.
and look at more than one link. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I end up finding laws in her random town in the middle of Canada that could help her in her case against these people she wanted to evict.
And
Right?
you know who does that, right? They called what now they call them they used to be called receptionists. Now they call them oh
Paralegals,
paralegals.
right? So you see what I'm saying? And literally, I went on Google. I didn't have to go and find like a law-specific website and look for
Right,
documents.
right.
I literally
Or
just went
take
on
4
Google.
years just to
You
find
know
that
what
out.
I'm
You know?
saying? It took me literally. It took 2 hours. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
say that it was lickety quick, but I went 2 hours looking at information from my friend because she said she needed help and she didn't know where to look.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
I mean that but that's all. If I can do that about a law in some random small town in a whole nother country, there's no reason that you can't learn the basics of math with YouTube,
Yeah.
right?
The only thing that I say that a person needs to take years of college is a doctor, because you're
Yeah,
not operating on me with no well,
right.
I did this on the game operation. No, you ain't doing
No,
that. You know what I
but
mean?
that's the thing. Like, if we're talking English, if we're talking, or I should say literature and grammar and all that, right? Like most of those courses, a lot of it is a pure
All right,
waste.
PA's in the house. Hi, Gwen, Scott.
But if we're talking math and science, right? These are more factually based, more you need. Like the best part about science courses at a collegiate level is normally the fact that you get to do the actual experiments.
Right, right.
Right? If you didn't get a chance in high school, college is where you get to do it. If you're getting into biology, you might get the chance to actually touch a cadaver before you even get to med school.
Yeah.
And all of those things, right? We're talking about very specific fields. That's what we need. Even if we're talking education, you tell me you need a master level education thing. Sure, I'll give you that because how are you going to teach somebody
Yeah.
if you don't understand how to teach? And as we've been discussing, you've never really been taught the beyond basic workforce stuff. So you're not really taught to be a leader.
Oh, we
You're
got we
not.
got South Caroliners in the house as well.
No, it's not.
So yeah, but like
Hey, Fort Jackson.
to have a master's degree, we're looking at martial artists, doctors, rocket scientists.
I mean, there's still
you know,
science, but we're talking mostly like really top thinking kind of jobs. is
Right,
what I'm
right.
saying, you know what I'm saying?
but not. Oh, I got a bachelor's. Oh, I need art.
I mean, and these days, bachelor degrees, right, only go but so far. They've even turned that into a business where like now you need to have more than a bachelor's to get specific positions where you're wondering why,
Yeah.
right? Like in most cases, I will tell you most jobs, most office jobs, right? Because the goal is to get that 9 to 5 kind of a stability with the benefits and yada yada, right? For the basic American, that is a goal because that's not what's available to a lot of people.
Hmm.
And for basic office work, I swear you shouldn't even require a bachelor's, right?
Nah.
You really shouldn't. It should be that you had a high school internship, right? But let's say even if you need a paperwork behind it, because that's what I just call it, an associate should be enough.
Yeah.
Right? Someone with an associate's in business
Like
administration.
yeah, because I remember that's what I was gonna say. I
That's
remember
what the bachelor's gets. And I'm like, what the?
I remember before they changed the name from secretary to administrator assistant.
Right?
Same thing, but when they changed that name, they started more than associate. I'm like, why? To answer a phone and to type 45 words per minute
Yeah, I
and
mean,
to do scheduling?
I love the fact that you could possibly get an administrative assistant job with an associate's, but now to be an executive,
Yeah,
administrative
yeah, yeah.
assistant, you need a bachelor's. I mean,
or executive, what they call it, executive intern to the. So it's like you're not. First of all these titles are being made up,
Yeah.
and as they make them more up, they want to bring more education in, which now you have to pay more money.
Well,
It's all it comes.
Here's the thing. Although that might seem true, there are a lot of jobs where you have a bachelor's and you're still not paid well.
Yeah, that's how I was gonna tell them.
Like
You can have a bachelor's degree.
you're getting a bachelor's degree to get an entry level position where really, like, if we were to look at the same job 20 years ago, you probably percentage wise would have been paid higher.
Yeah, some of the times the degree doesn't really mean nothing. Sometimes they give it to in-house, which
right.
kudos to the companies that do that.
Nepotism, though,
You
is
know.
usually what it is. And I mean, I'm sorry. I don't care who you are, but if you have a degree in philosophy, that should be worse than if I have a high school diploma.
Oh my God.
Because
That's another one,
you
too.
spent 4 years to learn how to ask a question.
And
Think about that.
it was funny because in law school we only took it half a semester. because they said all you needed was half a semester of that to understand. So why are you doing 4 years of it? I never understood. I was purchasing a manager for a company selling to the army. Well, no degree.
You don't need it.
Look at that.
You probably learn more based off the on-the-job training that you got.
That
the
some of
first
the
few
sales
weeks.
companies I seen them. But why do I need any kind of degree to sell you something? Like I tell people, I can sell you a sand in the desert. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like-
I had no degree and did a sales job and came like management.
Yeah, it's like
I found a gimmick.
never understood it. If you're a people person, you're a seller.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're a seller, you're pretty much borderline flirt, liar. You know what I mean?
I would argue I am not a people person, but
But you can sell.
I make people think I know what I'm talking about a lot of the time. That's
Oh yeah,
what
you
works.
throw a couple of things.
That's
in
a
there.
couple words. Like I used to sell energy, right? You know,
Right.
the people who come to sell the power plants.
Right,
stuff,
right.
I literally did a Google search about what it was I was doing. Just a quick Google search, and the fact that I could explain it to people is why they bought from me. Like what the program was is why they bought it from me. I didn't have to lie. I just used words that I found on Google.
Sure. When
I
I was
talk like Donald Trump to people.
when I was a salesperson, I lied so much. Oh look, she sold and
See that you know
Yeah.
you know what it is.
when I was younger, there was a lot of people out there thinking they looked it pretty, and it was because of me. I lied my ass off when I was in sales. Girl,
Yeah.
if I was single, and I was like, if I was single, I would have been going out with you right now. That's working with you, man. And or not when they wear something, I'll be like, nah, you know what? Honestly, wait, the manager's not around, right? Because I can't do this. Honestly, this looks better. There ain't manager around. The manager don't care what I say, but it was just a point of me. So again, I didn't need 4 years of education to do that. You know?
No, just energy.
So it happens. Hey, Lizzie, how's it going?
But yeah, I mean, what do they tell you when you're a salesperson? Like, you're not selling the product; you're selling yourself. All right, except not on a street corner.
Right,
right. Yeah, you know.
But education,
Smart.
I did door to door when we were in school.
Yeah, I
Because
love
back
door-to-door.
back in the days, they didn't give you those candies to sell that every school has.
Yeah.
Like by the time you knock on somebody's door, I already brought it from my kids. You know what I mean? They had different. Like each school had something different. Like we had juries and stuff like that, even though they were fake costume juries.
Yeah,
but
the scholastic stuff.
right.
And, yeah.
But you had to go out there and sell. And as a kid, you got to look first of all with the little sad eyes. You know what I mean? Like I used to go all the way up to the top floor, knocking on the door. I was, prepared. As soon as they go, give me a second. I wasn't out of breath. But for a little kid to come all the way up there to try to sell something, you feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
You want to buy something. And my friend Pito, let him rest in peace. He's like, how the hell you come out with these gimmicks? I said, I don't know. I just played the string. You know what I mean?
You learn
So-
people and you can sell.
And you learn that, again, no 4 years education in college.
As a little kid.
So I think they really need to change from the 11 years old down to give them 4 to 5 hours maybe of school. Because first of all, you want me to learn 8 different courses, right? Let's say in 8 hours, but you're only telling the teacher to teach one.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Why they can't teach 8?
Well, that's the thing. At elementary level, I know my school used to do it where the teacher taught every subject.
Yeah, I remember
So-
that you couldn't even come out the class.
Yeah.
Sometimes the teacher come to you, like there would be different teachers, or that one teacher be like, all right, erase the board, and now she's the science teacher.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So-
I mean, that's how I was taught, but I also went to a really weird school.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
you
it
know,
was called the education school.
No.
Because now in these days, I don't know what the
Mine
heck
was
they
literally
selling.
called special music school, and it was
Yeah.
a experimental program. So
Yeah.
my education experience isn't the traditional one in the
Right,
same
right.
sense. But I know my sister was in school. They went from classroom to classroom in middle school, but for elementary school, and it was the same school that had both. They had more like a homeroom kind of a teacher thing.
Right.
But see, my thing is, and I say this now as an adult, but I've been saying it since I was a kid. Nap time in elementary school, all the way. I don't care, all the way to 5th, 6th grade. Nap time, because as an adult, I know I don't need a nap more than now.
you
And
know-
I know little kids be more tired.
And in
than others.
Japan, it's mandatory when
Yeah.
you're working to take an hour nap.
But that's also because they be working like 15 hours a day.
Yeah, right, that's true though. But
That's
it's working for them because they don't seem like they are workers.
they
They
work.
take their breaks. They take days off.
Yeah.
They give them a whole lot more
Than what we get.
than we get because they know the energy.
I think in Europe they have like mandatory holidays and stuff like that. Like I mean, when I say holidays, I mean vacations, right?
Right.
It's not just a single day. But they get told like if we get 30.
Yeah, they
They
close.
Have,
Yeah,
I mean, but in Europe in general, right?
when
a
they
lot,
close, they close. It's not go home and continue working.
a
Nope.
lot of those countries will give you, 20 out of the 52 weeks of the year off, just so that way
Yep.
you're mentally stable enough to actually get your work done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's amazing.
Yeah, and we have a Bronx principal Torres who's trying to bring music back and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And he didn't know when he posted it up on the page. He mentioned the band that I was on back in the '80s, which is Junior High School 22. He was like that was the dominant brand school in the whole Bronx, and the reason is because they had the music, they had opera class, they had chorus, they had acting, which I was in the chorus and the band, and the chorus was the this girl who filmed in Fame, the movie Fame, who just passed away a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yes.
She was the one that was doing chorus and acting in that school for a little bit,
Oh,
and then
wow.
she got picked up for Fame, and then she just kept on going from there. We had people that were famous in the school coming and teaching.
Yeah.
So those schools always, that was the only school that I actually had allergies when I had to leave. You know what I mean?
I didn't
You know,
care.
you know, yeah. Oh, yeah. She was there. That's her name. I was trying to remember her name, but when we had to graduate and leave that school, I was like really sad because that school who made us, half of the people in that school made it. It's like doing
Yeah.
something for that. So that's why they was like, nah, we got to cut this off. The budget.
I mean, we've seen that schools that promote the arts do better as far as even just in math class. Like,
Yeah.
they say that kids that have higher IQs are normally kids who were listening to music in the womb and whatnot.
Right.
There's something to developing the creative aspect of your brain because now it allows you to think outside the box, right? So you can take all the stuff, the actual like logic, straightforward stuff that you're learning, and now applying it in new and different ways and evolving, regressing the subject matter that you're in. People fear evolution and innovation because it means that whatever they're doing is either going to be outdated or whatever it is that they've created will eventually, be outdone. So it's scary when you're someone who's running the world thinking that someone's going to come up with an idea to take it over from you.
Yeah, it's we supposed to be showing kids how to make the world better, not just showing them how to
We
be
keep
workers and stuff like
Yeah.
that. We got to show them how to be smarter and think more. Again, homeschool almost
an
11 to
option.
12% up. So and this was from the last time. So imagine
Right.
it's going up and up and up. Since now they making these charter schools make it look like it seems like they private schools. They still public and they still owned by the government.
Right.
They just trying to make it feel like you're in
Something special.
in a special school with a group.
Mhm.
That's another thing to hold you down to make you straight and listen to the rules. You got to wear the clothes.
Mhm.
You got to wear this.
Uniforms.
You got to be in a certain line. And I went to one school, no lie, that it had a stop sign and a green sign on the door. You go through the stop sign, you're getting in trouble, and that was just for safety reason
Right.
because you don't want to hit the door and then somebody's coming
Coming
in.
out, right.
So and then they had the line, but now they doing it as you're standing straight. What you gonna do next? March?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
no, it has to change. Especially with the new math and the new science, the way they're doing it. If until they change the testing,
Mm-hmm.
then you can teach that. But you're teaching something that has nothing to do with the testing. Testing is still A, B, C, and D,
Yep.
and you got 45 minutes to
They don't
finish this test.
Understand that this testing that they do does not care about your thought process. It cares about just
Your
you giving
answer.
the right answer. So let the student get the answer however they do it.
Yeah.
You have people who do math and science in their head like it's nothing.
Yeah, they don't
Right.
even do because I asked my son when I was in his class, like last year, I was at last. invite you both to join me and my friends this Saturday in the Bronx. Where y'all gonna be in the Bronx?
Yeah, shoot us a message.
Yeah. Um, we when we were that age, we had a game where we had to turn around, face the wall, and then the teacher would write a math thing on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as she hits the bell, you turn around and you run to the
Board.
chalkboard.
And see who
Because
does the fastest.
now it's a writing board, but now we had chalkboard.
Right, the whiteboard.
Yeah, now they have the whiteboard, but we had a chalkboard, and you had to write the answer down. She didn't ask, "How did you get to this?"
Nope, doesn't matter.
Who was right? Let's see. Okay, y'all both right. So who did it first, class? Blah blah blah. And then you won for your side of the
In
of
the
your
room,
class.
yeah.
That's why in math I go quick. So I'm teaching my son that, and when he did it in school, they actually gave him a 3 because he doesn't show his work.
And if you're not,
But he has 100% all the time.
if you're unfamiliar with the system, they normally grade you on like your report cards 1 through 4.
Right.
3 being like good, 2 being like adequate, 1 being you suck, and 4 being excellent, like great.
Right.
A student that is just performing above all others should easily just get that 4.
All the way.
I
All the way.
remember I used to get like, oh, he's really great in his classes, but he doesn't talk much,
That's what they wrote on him.
right?
That
Like,
he doesn't answer.
okay.
So what?
why do I need to talk? Why do you need to know that I know this stuff before test day? Is how I feel. Like, I don't have anything to say. First and foremost, when everyone's repeating the same thing over and over and over again, I'm trying mostly to stay awake.
Yeah.
Right? Like, kids
Yeah.
ask the same question 15 times.
I'm not gonna lie. I was a good student, A student, but don't ask me about my attendance.
Uh.
My attendance was like, "What? I ain't getting up." My mom was like, "Why you not getting up?" They doing the review for the test, so go in. I already know it. Then the next day when there's the test, I got 100.
Yeah.
They even at the end of the school year, they thought I was cheating. They made me come in, and because I got 100 on the math,
Right.
on the state test, I had to come in, and they said because of the guy that I know, a friend of mine's got 102, we must have been cheating.
Of course.
I'm like, no, because I trained him.
I gave him the
yeah,
answers.
he came to my house. I showed him how to do the answers, how to get answers quickly. So we were both cheating, but he was in the other side of the room. I was one. They gave us the test again, and I think I had 1 or 2 wrong the second time.
Right.
So they had to give me the 100, and they realized that I didn't cheat. But because they was like looking at the time that I was there. Well, you didn't come in all the time. So freaking
You
what?
teach the same. I know every day I was in school, you're really focusing on the same unit for a week to 2 weeks, right? So do I really need to be there every day?
Yeah.
I
Especially when they did history. Like
Oh.
how we need a month to know that George Washington crossed from one side to the other.
Yo, my favorite was English class. It was 10th grade English. They said that we're gonna read. I want to say it's The Grapes of Wrath, right? It's one of
Right.
those like all-American classic books.
Look,
And the teacher prefaced the whole unit by saying, "So the author says that there's no depth to this story, right? It's just supposed to be a story that's meant to be enjoyed." And then goes, "But we're going to look at the." And I said, "Wait. So you said the author wrote a book where the point is just to read it and have fun, not to like read into it?"
into it.
And he's just like, "Yeah." I said, "Let me know when you write the essays." And I left. I wasn't in English class for 2 weeks. Come back, do the essay real quick. Like I think I looked at the book that he wanted us to read, and the other thing, we looked at Spark Notes, wrote a whole essay on it, and got a B on it. And he just like
Yeah.
threw it on my desk like, "I hate you, Davis." I'm just like,
Yeah. Listen, bring the arts back. Cut down the schools time. My son, like high educated and everything, and he learned a lot from home. But he
Yeah.
learned a lot because we took him out to places.
Yeah.
We even go to the woods and look for little insects or animals, and he'll learn from that.
Right. Exposure is everything. And that's the other thing. For homeschool kids, don't just educate them in the house. Like I think we've seen it in COVID at a bigger number.
Right.
But
Take 'em out.
Yeah, take them to the park. Have them interact with other kids, even if you don't want to do schooling. But even if it's a martial arts class or some sort of after-school program, they still have to learn the social aspect of dealing with other people. But yeah, you could teach them all the info stuff yourself. That's
Because as soon as they go to junior high and high school, you can probably put them in school because half of y'all don't know that much anyway.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But teach them what you know.
And
Even
teach
if you
these
don't
things.
know, there are books that you can just give to them and show them how to do it, and they'll wind up doing them themselves. Never get the answers. I always tell my son, be like, what do you think? Let's run this down first. So now even though I've created a monster, because now he'd be like, well, let's figure this out. If I do it and then he doesn't know what was it we were arguing yesterday? Sarcasm.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
doesn't know sarcasm. He doesn't know some jokes because he was like, that doesn't make
Makes
sense.
sense. Yeah.
But I'm like, it's a joke. Like the other day, I was like, I've been laying here for almost 3 days, and he was like, Dad, you only got here. That doesn't like so he, because of that,
Yeah.
involved them in work field and what you
Okay.
do. Yeah, my son is involved.
He's in the studio right now.
Yeah, he's in the studio right now in the back. He has his own show, so check him out. Ratings World on YouTube. Ratingsworld.com is going to be coming out as well. So we teach him. Will teaches him a lot of
Games.
strategy
Yeah.
games and all this other stuff. His mom is Asian. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say on that. And then I teach him the martial arts, the media, and everything else. We never give him answers. We let him figure it out, and then when he doesn't really figure out, we jump in.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, your kid isn't. We're not saying that children are just gonna master everything. You know what I'm saying? But
He's doing your sound.
Yeah.
I wish, right? He actually, we had 2 years old. He was doing the camera. So he's been in the media since he was a
Yeah.
newborn. So that's, I
Always-
guess, why he can't really speak to kids. And plus his vocabulary is not, streetwise. So they don't understand what the heck he's saying.
Yeah, that was always a problem growing up. When you're like, you
Yeah.
spend so much time with adults that you're like, this is what you talk about at my age.
I know, right? It's like, what? What?
Like, if it wasn't for TV, I would have no relation to people of my own generation when I was a kid. Like, because at least I still liked cartoons.
Yeah. But next time when it's time to vote, I think you need to start asking these people what are they doing for the schools.
Yeah.
Not these 8 hours of nothing. You know, keep up your kids, keep watching what they're doing, and just educate them as much as possible, and watch what they're teaching in school. Because my kid PE and you watching a movie,
Yeah.
supposed to be running.
In all honesty, no matter what school you send your kid to,
Oh,
you-
thank you, Rosa.
you are your kid's biggest teacher, right?
Yeah.
Everything they will learn will be filtered through you somehow, some way. So be the influence you want them to have.
Yeah.
Just don't be an overbearing parent.
And also, as as fathers over there, I hear a lot of people. Yeah, I work to keep a roof over my family's head. I don't work to do that. I work to make sure my son keeps a roof over his head.
Mm-hmm.
This is the LDM Show. Thanks, Will from XY101.
Anytime.
Check us out on his podcast. It's a funny podcast.
It's not for kids.
Yeah, it's not for kids. Yeah, it's not for
Neither.
kids and not for softies. But check it out, XY101 on iHeartRadio, LDM Radio, what else? Casa Radio, Casa FM.
Everywhere LDM Network puts stuff up,
Basically,
probably
yeah.
on their audio section.
So check us out and check me out tomorrow. We'll be doing a comedy show on the House of France.
Thank you.
I was saying
So
it
the
backwards.
South
The
of
South of
France.
France. I said the France of South. The South of France on 1800 Westchester Avenue in the Bronx at 8 p.m. It starts 7 o'clock. The door opens. I'll be hosting the comedy, so you'll see a little bit of my comedy where there's going to be 4 comedians there. I guess we could call them comedians and me just a host because I really don't.
I mean, yeah, you
Yeah.
can be hosting the show.
Yeah.
If you make some people laugh too. Then,
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll make them laugh. If they don't laugh, I have my gun ready and stuff like that.
Oh,
No.
no.
Anyway.
You just say comedy show in the Bronx.
You gonna laugh, right? We gonna laugh or what? We gonna laugh out here, right? No. No, but check us out and check the LDM Network for real good shows that we're going to be having here on our studio, as well as meet and greets that we're going to be having with the hosts of all these shows.
I'm telling you, when the studio is finally done,
Yep.
you gonna have some fun with us.
Yep. So we see you next week. Have fun and remember, educate yourself as much as possible.